Hey guys, today we're gonna learn how to make an AI and beat the game. We're gonna learn how to make an AI and beat the game Pond right here. So how do we get here? So first of all, we're supposed to type in blockly dash games.appspot.com, and then you just click enter, and it takes you to this website where there's these buttons or modes that you can pick. They're not actually modes, but I don't know what to call them. So you're supposed to go into this pond. Just click that and you'll find yourself here. So you'll find yourself in a block kind of mode, but you're not supposed to be in this block. So we're gonna go to this JavaScript, and then we're gonna highlight that, and then we're gonna click enter. Highlight that, click backspace, and then enter. So that disables this block thing here, which we don't want. Anyway. Okay. So how what's this gonna look like? What's this AI we're gonna make look like? Well, I have a demo right here. So it's gonna be shooting. It's gonna be shooting, and then when it reaches invisible boundaries, it's gonna like turn around. But there's a problem here. This is our player right here, but he keeps bumping into stuff for some reason. But he eventually got out of that trap, and then now he can kill Sniper and then win the game. That was a quick game, actually. Nice. Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Now we can never win. Okay, I think we're losing. Okay, there we go. Now we're winning, kind of, maybe. Ooh, there we go. We're winning. We won. There we go. So it's not perfect or anything, but this is just what it's gonna look like. So, so it's just gonna go around in a random direction, swim to different places, and then it's gonna, when it reaches like invisible boundaries over here, it's gonna turn around until it gets out of those boundaries and into the middle part of the screen where it's supposed to be. So let's get to it. So first of all, we'll need to code our variables. So I'm just gonna name it like that. I'm just gonna comment it like that. So how do we name a variable? How do we initiate a variable? So we type in var. This is how you create a variable, and then we're gonna type. So first of all, we're gonna make a variable that's gonna like scan like for opponents. It's gonna spin around. So we need to make like a scan direction. Where is it gonna scan? So if you see in the documentation, this is how you initiate variables or assign variables. So you do var, the name of the variable, equals the value. So you'll have to do, I'm just gonna call mine scan direction for scan direction, and then I'm gonna assign it 0, and then I'm gonna do a semicolon, and then I'm gonna go down, and then I'm gonna do var. Now I'm gonna do swim direction equals. But this time we're not gonna assign it 0. We want to assign it to. We want to assign it a random value from 0 through to 360. So how do we do that? Let's go into math and see. Or we want a random number, so we'll do here's the random. So we'll do math.random, the function. Math.random. And then the parentheses, and then that. But this is not going to do it, because we need a direction, not only a value from 0 through 1. So we'll have to have a direction, so we're just going to multiply it by, excuse me, we'll just multiply it by 360, and then that should make a direction. And then I'm going to make a variable called, so I'm going to make a variable called scan result to store the result of the scan word. Remember how I told you we need the scan direction for making the we need the scan direction for like making a spinny thing that goes around and scans stuff, like here. Okay, here. So you can see that there's a scanny thing right here that stops when there's like opponents and like shoots, finds opponents and then shoots them, and it spins around in the meantime, and it doesn't find any opponents. So that's what we're trying to make right here, and for that we need a scan direction. We need a scan direction and scan results to store the result of the scan in. So we're gonna have to do scan result equals 0, and then we're gonna do for the last variable we're gonna do health before. Health before equals. I'm gonna set my health before to health. And by the way, I assigned my scan result 0. So now we go on to other code. So these are all of the variables we need for the AI that we're making to beat the game Pond. So these are just all the variables. We don't need to make any other variables. And then we're gonna make a while loop. So a while loop is just something that like loops the code inside it for a condition. This is the code inside it, and it's gonna loop this if something is correct. So let's say like it's gonna loop this until it's gonna loop it until like let's just say like it's gonna loop it if maybe like 10 is less than 11. It's gonna loop it for that condition, and since this is always true, it's gonna loop it forever. It's never gonna change. But instead of putting all this, you can just do that and then true to make a while loop go forever, because this is just a value. So what this returns right here is it just returns true. So if we just put in true, it's gonna return true. So it won't do anything. Oh, sorry. We'll just do that, and then we'll make a while loop, and then make it go forever. We want it to go forever. So next we're gonna nest a while loop inside this while loop. So this is gonna have a condition though. So remember how I was telling you about the boundaries, that when the duck reaches, it turns around. See that right there? See, when it reaches that boundary, it turns around. See, right there. It turns around. Okay, so wait. See, right there. It turns around. Oh, okay, whatever. It turns around, right? So we need to make that boundaries. So, how do we do that? Well, we're just gonna we don't need to make actual boundaries, but we can just check all the time if the duck is touching any if the duck's coordinates are like over some value over here or over some value over here. So to do that, we just have to do get x. So what this does is it gets the if you see here, it gets the location of the duck. It gets the x value of the duck, and we want it to be less than or equal to 90. I'm just gonna say 90, but you can say anything greater than 90, because I've found out that if you do anything less than 90, it's gonna like keep like spinning in place and not doing anything. So we don't want that. And then after that, we need to check for the y value to see if it's less than 92. So we're just gonna do and. This is the operator for and, by the way. If you see in here, logic, it's gonna say, see that this is the and operator. So what this does is it checks if both of these things, both of the conditions that we're gonna write here are correct, and if they are, it's gonna return true. If any of them are wrong, then it's gonna return false. So that's just a simple overview of what it does. So I'm just gonna check for the get y value, and then I'm gonna do less than or equal to 90, and then I'm gonna check for the x value again, but this time to see if it's like greater than or equal to 10. I'm doing this because if you see in the, let's go back to the pond documentation, and then if you see over to location, you'll see that the least value for the x is 0 and the least value for the y is 0. So, and the most value and the biggest value for y is like, is 100, and the largest x value is 100. So that's just what it is. So now we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do that exact same thing. Let's just turn this into x to make it more sense. Get y is greater than or equal to 10. And then I'm also gonna search for another thing. I'm gonna search if it's getting attacked, and if it bump. So we want to check if the duck, this duck, bumps into things or gets attacked, and if it does either of those things, we want it to like turn around, and like if it doesn't follow any of these things right here, we want it to turn around. But we just want to check to see if it's getting attacked or if it's bumping into things. So to do that, we're just gonna do health before is equal to the health. We're just gonna check to see if the health before is equal to the current health. And if it's not, we're gonna write some code down here to like set it back and like make it stop bumping into things and getting attacked. Just make it turn. Just exactly what it does. Okay, so that's just what it is. And then what we're gonna do here inside this is we're gonna scan. If you remember a little 2 minutes back, I was talking about how there used to be a white spinny thing that used to scan for stuff for opponents, other opponent ducks. So we're gonna make that. So it's really easy. If you go into the documentation and look into the pond documentation, you can see that the scan function does it. So the scan function activates the duck's radar. This function returns the range of the nearest opponent in the specified direction. So we'll have to specify a direction. That's what this scan direction is useful for. We can make a variable to like hold the direction and like increase it every time forever. So all we'll have to do is we'll have to do scan that, and then we're gonna do scan direction for the direction of the scan, and then we're gonna do I wanna say 3. I'm gonna say 3. It doesn't really matter. It can be anything from 0 to 5, but this number right here is just like the width of the radar, how big you want it to be. You want it to be like 20, 10, but the bigger you get, the less accurate you are. So I'm just gonna do 3, and then I'm gonna check if the duck caught any opponent in that direction. So within the shooting range, if you see in this, we can see that the shooting range of the duck, the cannon range of the duck, can be anywhere from 0 to 70. So you want it to be less than 70. So we can just do we also have to assign this. We also have to do the scan result in here, and we'll have to assign this result. We'll have to assign the result of the scan into the scan result variable. So then we can just check to see if the scan result was anything, if it was less than or equal to 70, and then if it is, it can shoot the duck. So like that, it can just shoot the duck by doing cannon scan direction for the direction of the cannon, scan direction, comma, and then scan result res for the distance to the opponent. So then we'll just put that right there, and then after that we want it to like spin around the duck. We want the radar to spin around the duck. So how do we make it do that? Well, we just have to make it we just have to increment it by a certain amount. So how do we increment it? Well, we just have to do we just have to go into variables and then see. So this is how you increment it. So you have to put plus equals, and then increment the variable. So let's just do that. Let's just do the scan direction plus equals 3. I did 3 over here because I did a 3 for the width of the duck. So we always want it to be like the same numbers over here and over here. You always want it to be the same number over here and here, or else it won't be that great. If you put it at 1, it's gonna be way too slow, and if you put it at 2, it would still be a little bit slow, but it would be better at least. But a 3 is what I think is the best. I don't know why. I think it's just the right range of slow and fast. I just don't know how to explain it. And then after that we're gonna set the health. Actually, yeah, we're gonna set the health before to health. This is how you set a variable. So then, if you see right here, if we test it, you can see that it works. But nothing's happening when we're dying, and it's not like stopping. So how do we make it stop? Well, we're just gonna go into this if statement right here, and then we're gonna say scan direction minus equals. This decrements the value, which makes it less than. So if it was like 6, for example, and you decremented it, it would be, if you decremented it by 1, it would be 5, and then if you decremented it by 2, it'd be with a value of 6, it would be 4. So that's just decrementing. So that's how you do it. We're gonna decrement it by 3, just to like make it stop. That's just what we're gonna do, and then it should work. See, it's stopping when it finds a duck, but when someone finds it and shoots the duck, it's not like doing anything. It's not moving away or anything, but it's actually winning already. No, it's not. Oh well. So how do we make it swim? Or how do we make it move? I just gave you the answer. But if you look into the pod documentation, you can see that the swim function makes the duck move. The swim function starts the duck moving. The duck will continue moving in the specified direction indefinitely. So it means it will go in that direction forever. We don't need to read all that. So how do we use this? Well, we can just put it into this swim. We can just put that swim there, and then we can do swim direction. I always like to put a space in between each of these, especially in the end and the middle if there's nothing in there. I just do it at the end of the code, after I'm done writing the code. But right now I'm just gonna do it like that. Okay, yeah, like that. And then that's basically it. That's how you make it go. See, you'll see that it starts moving in a random direction every time. And then when it passes the borders, you can see that it just stops, which is what we want it to do. So what do we want it to do when it reaches the borders, or it like smashes into a duck, or whatever else? Well, we want it to turn around and go the other way. Not like the other way, but you know what I mean. In another direction. So how do we make it do that? We're just gonna do swim direction. We're gonna increment the swim direction by, I'm gonna say 8. And then we're gonna make it swim direction, in that direction. And then we always want to put a semicolon everywhere we go. So, except for the if statements and the while statements. That's it. Yeah. And then that's how you make it like turn around. But we still want it to be scanning, even if, and we also want it to set like everything. You want everything in here to just be copy and pasted in here. So we're just gonna copy and paste this in here, and then that's just what. And then that's it, basically. Yeah, that's it. We're done. This is how you write your AI. And hope you had a fun time. Wait, first of all, let's test it out though. It's very important. But I still hope you had a fun time. Just like making the spacing correct so it looks better. But yeah, we can just test it out and see if it works. Well, you can see that it turns around. That's good. And then when it reaches that, it turns around, which is exactly what we want. We don't want that to happen, but, and then it shoots when it finds an opponent, and it turns around when it reaches the borders or bumps into something, which is exactly what we want it to do. And then when it finds someone, it just stops the radar and then goes in that direction until the guy we're tracking is like dead, or we just can't find it anymore. We won. There we go. That's just how you make it. And here's a tip. So this web page right here slows down every time you hit this run program button. So to make it go like faster, you can just open a new tab and then go to the Blockly pawn game again, and then you can copy and paste this code right here, and then you can just go into the JavaScript and then do what we did last time, and then you can just copy and paste it right there, and then you'll see that it goes much faster. See right there? It just goes like super fast. So I really hope you had fun, and if you have any questions or comments on this video, please share them in the comment section, and please like and share this video. I hope you had fun. Bye. Ooh, let's see. Ooh, it's winning. Nice. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. It's gonna lose. Dang it, it's losing. Ooh. No. Whew. But still losing. And by the way, it's not detecting it because it's way too far away to be seen. Remember when we said the scan result has to be less than or equal to 70? That's why it's not detecting it. Ooh, this is so close. We're almost won. We almost won. Sorry. Ooh, come on, 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 come on. Wait, what? It didn't detect it. Phew. We won. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.